Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch take two. Yeah, did almost the whole video and realized I wasn't recording. If you hear another set of crunch feet, it's because my beautiful wife is walking with me this morning, but she doesn't want to be on camera. So, you know, she's just like just beyond where this camera is. But anyways, hope you all had a good Independence Day yesterday. Not just shooting fireworks and eating hamburgers, but maybe had some time to reflect and talk about what's going on and how bad things are and where we've been and where we're going as a nation. We had the fortunate time yesterday of spending it with a few friends yesterday evening, a little bit of time. And so it was a nice little break from the homestead work, from the videos, from the news, just kind of unplugged from the world. I mean, my goodness, there probably could have been a nuclear war started where we were at and wouldn't have known anything about it. It's kind of nice. A lot of stuff going on, and specifically, and I know you're probably tired of hearing it talked about, because everybody seems to be talking about it. But this power plant in Ukraine, it kind of seems to be front and center right now with all the scuttle being talked about online. And it's because there are multiple threats, there are multiple rumors that either Ukraine or Russia, or who knows, NATO, United States, CIA, is going to strike, cause some kind of explosion or bomb at that power plant there in Ukraine today or tomorrow, is what everyone's saying, on the 4th or 5th. So we're at the 5th now. It could be, you know, within the next 24 to 48 hours, in other words, is what we're seeing. It could be nothing. We've had these kind of rumors that end up being absolutely nothing. But we've also seen these kind of rumors in the past that end up being something, you know, the Nord Stream pipeline, a couple important bridges in Ukraine, that dam that was taken out in Crimea, or the dam in Ukraine that fed the water to Crimea, all that kind of stuff. So there has been serious things happen. This could be another. Man, the bugs are out thick today. I think it's something to pay a little bit of attention to, because if in fact this happens, like all the rumors say that they're going to happen, we could see a serious escalation. NATO, the United States, has already been talking about how if this power plant gets hit, that it could be a reason for NATO and the West to get involved, which for me, it tells me that the most likely candidate to actually conduct a strike would probably be NATO and the West, because they seem to really want to be involved in this. And I want to make it clear that just because a bomb goes off there, it does not necessarily mean that there would be a meltdown of the plant and the spread of nuclear radiation. It could cause a Chernobyl event, but it doesn't necessarily mean it will happen unless explosives are placed in the right place. It could just be a building or something at the site that gets exploded. So if you hear about something, don't just immediately panic and say, oh my goodness, it's Chernobyl all over again. May or may not happen, but that doesn't mean that it wouldn't be an excuse for NATO and the United States to get involved. I think they really want to. Personally, I don't think it makes much sense for Russia to do it, but they could. But of course, Russia's saying that Ukraine is going to do it. I did get some information from someone. Now, this is like third, fourth hand kind of stuff, but it came from a trusted source that basically a friend of a friend knows someone personally that's in Russia, a Russian family. And the husband of this Russian family is actively currently fighting in the Russian military, and he has sent word back to his family that they do in fact believe that Ukraine will be striking that power plant in the next 24 to 48 hours. So it's certainly something to be aware of. We have to understand that I personally think, and I've said this many times before, NATO really wants to be involved in this for whatever reason. There are some pretty serious war hawks out there that want our involvement in Eastern Europe to be escalated. We have somewhere in the neighborhood of 100,000 troops. The United States has 100,000 troops in Poland and Romania. NATO is trying to get about 300,000 troops on their eastern flank. Of course, the billions and billions of dollars of equipment being sent over. And then just all the war talk. So could it be possible, especially looking back at Nord Stream and the dam and the few bridges? Yeah, I think something like this could certainly happen. In fact, to be honest with you, I'm surprised there hasn't been an attack there yet. I also heard from a military vet friend of mine. He was actually just recently in. He just retired about a year ago. Said that he was called by a friend of his that's still in service. I believe he was a major. And he said, talking to my friend, he said, "Hey, what do you think about all this stuff going on?" "Oh, it's crazy." He said, "Well, it seems to be getting worse." He said, "Our training schedule has completely been upended." He said, "And all we're doing right now is doing a medical readiness assessments on our units, and we're training for chemical, nuclear, biological stuff. We're training with all the suits, and we're making sure that we're ready to go in that area when it comes to dealing with nuclear war." For those of you that's been in service, knowing that when a unit starts to do its medical readiness of the unit, that's a pretty good sign that they're getting ready, because these units can't be deployed if they don't have a good medical readiness. So does that mean that something's going to happen soon? Well, it means that they're planning for something to happen. Doesn't mean it actually will happen, but at least they're planning for it. You know, if this power plant gets hit, let's just say over the next few days, if it gets hit, does that necessarily mean that we here in the United States will immediately feel the repercussions of that? Not necessarily. There could potentially be some panic here at home. I personally don't see it. I think the only ones that's panicking would be people like you and I. I think the average American's just going, "Oh, that's awful. Let's go kick Russia's hind end even more." Yeah. But could Russia retaliate? It's possible. Could Russia retaliate on Ukraine with a tactical nuke? Possible. Could Russia retaliate on us? Possible. I don't think very likely, but it's possible. But could all this push us much, much closer to World War III? Yes. Yes. Easy answer. Yes, very likely. And I think we need to be aware of that. Could all be talk. There's been a lot of talk the whole time this war's been going on. That's what happens when wars happen. Lots of talk. Some of it's been true, a lot of it hasn't been. And this may be one of those hasn't been moments. But there does seem to be a lot of scuttle out there, a lot of talk. And I think it's only wise for us to pay attention to it and to get yourself ready, you know. I think it would be wise to make sure, like you've done many times before. We've talked about this several times over the past few years when things kind of seem to get heated up. What do I say? Go out and make sure you're topped off. Go out and make sure you have the fuel that you need. Make sure you have the food that you need. Make sure you have water storage good. Because if something were to happen, it could affect us. It may not immediately hit us here, but it could. And so it makes sense. Other things, ammunition. Right now, I was looking in the last few days, there are several places that have some amazing ammunition deals. Palmetto State Armory, which is becoming one of my favorite places to shop, even though I don't always have the money to do it. I feel like a kid. Remember when you were a child and you used to get the Sears Christmas catalogs? Yeah, you remember that? That's kind of like going on Palmetto State Armory's website for me anymore. But they have some really good sales right now. There's a link in the description below if you want to check them out. You can stock up on ammunition, magazines. You can even buy firearms through a FFL through their website, and they're excellent prices. Most of the time you're not going to find it cheaper, but do that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff we should be doing. You know, I understand that some people, when these kind of things happen and folks like myself are like, oh, get out there and make sure you're topped off, some people look at that as like, oh, not this again. For me, I look at it as the opposite. To me, it's a positive motivation. It's like, okay, I've probably slacked off the last few weeks, the last few months. I've been a little lackadaisical in my prepping. I've been focused on other things in my life and not so much on the immediate threat of danger. This is a motivation for me to say, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to top off? What do I need to purchase? What do I need to do with my family? What do I need to do with my schedule, my family's schedule? You know, should we be taking trips right now? Things like that. Maybe, maybe not. That's how I look at this kind of stuff. And it helps me get a little bit more ready. Again, nothing at all may happen with this power plant. Absolutely nothing may happen. It may all be talk. There's been a lot of talk about it for a while, and it would not surprise me. In fact, I think it would be more shocking for me if nothing happens over the next few weeks with this power plant. If nothing happens. Ukraine desperately needs and wants NATO's full, complete involvement in this. If they don't have it, I don't think Ukraine's going to survive. So even if the United States isn't assisting them, I think Ukraine is highly motivated to get some kind of false flag going. So I would be shocked if nothing happens over the next few weeks with this power plant. Bottom line is keep getting ready, folks. Get your houses in order. Do all the things you know you need to be doing. You've been doing it for a while. Keep doing it and do it better. You need to be preparing yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.